Good morning and welcome back to the Forensic Unplugged channel. Do not forget to subscribe. So, can you clean your automotive glass with domestic kind of cheap glass cleaners? And in this video, she came back from the supermarket a couple of weeks ago with this thing here. And it was new. And it was new, sparkling glass, right? This is the backstory, which is reasonably important because it's the reason I thought I'd make this video. And inside our house on that particular day, just behind the kitchen, the sort of second living room almost, all the sun was shining through the windows and the windows looked absolutely filthy. And it caught my attention because they'd been cleaned recently. And straight away I could see that all the dirt was on the inside because we just have the outside cleaned. You know, the glass cleaners come around and clean the outside glass. So I thought, oh, I might as well clean the inside of that glass. Probably haven't done it for like 5 years or a year or whatever. So I went and grabbed this, noticed it was brand spanking new, and didn't even read the instructions and just hurled it all over the glass and wiped down the patio glass on the inside with like a tea towel that wasn't even a clean one. And I went and did all of the glass on the inside of that living room, and it did a bloody good job. And I thought, Jesus, this is good stuff. Normally my impression of glass cleaners, you know, the domestic ones, they're not that great. They're okay. They're fit for purpose. They usually work. They're made by large companies that have been doing this for a long time. They know how to make half-decent glass cleaner. But this, I used it and thought, bloody hell, it's brilliant. Because it was like, it given me like a flawless finish. So I just want to kind of demo it to you. And can you see, probably not showing that well on camera, but the inside of this glass, you can just see there's little patchy, streaky films because I just wipe it over with like a dirty rag half the time. So I'm just going to cover it in this glass cleaner. This glass cleaner, okay, it's running a little bit. It's a little bit wet. It doesn't feel like just like an alcohol solvent glass cleaner. It feels really a lot more surfactant-y and wet. Which normally I don't think is a good thing. It does say to wipe it with a damp cloth as well, so I'll just put a bit of water on there. And this is what I did on the inside, which that seems like a ton of glass cleaner, maybe too much. You know, you could put less on if you like. And this is all I did. And normally when you do this, yeah, all that water trail that you probably can't see it because it's struggling to focus, but you can see that watery surfactantiness. Usually when you get that, and you go over glass and it's covered in that, normally you'll get like streaky marks when it dries. And I pretty much just did what I'm doing now on that glass and then just left it. And then when I came back, it was absolutely mint. And it's flashing. So I'm probably seeing a little bit more than you're seeing. You're probably just seeing perfect glass now. I'm still seeing a little bit of surfactant here. Never mind that the cobwebs on the outside. I'm still seeing a little bit of surfactant. You can just see it there. It's starting to go. It's flashed. Then when I get back over it, I put a bit more surfactant, but it flashes quite quickly and it's freezing cold and it does a bloody good job. It does a really good job. That's taken out all those streak marks. So, what's it like on automotive glass? Now, normally, with automotive glass, the troublesome bit is the interior, because the interior glass, even here, just looking at that, the interior's got some sort of wipe marks, or I probably haven't cleaned the glass and I've just washed the car and maybe wiped it with a drying towel. It's a bit of dust. This car's been sitting here for a while, but the dust's on the outside. Let's just mist a bit on. So if you missed it, it seems to cling okay, which is good. And I mean, that's a lot of glass cleaner I've just used there. But yeah, I mean, it is very surfactant-y. So you definitely use less than perhaps I'm using. But it really cuts quite nice. And then when you just do that, and then you do I've just flipped the cloth. Yeah, once you get it down to that dry film, it flashes really quickly. And that, You could probably see in all that dust, but that's all on the outside. But that glass is really, really clean. It's a good glass cleaner, this. I think it, it's got that musky surfactant in it, which I usually associate with ethanol. And my inside of my glass on here is pretty good. You could probably spray into the cloth if you wanted to. It's a bit difficult to film, but yeah, it does. Even now, this glass looked clean, but as I'm doing this, the interior, some of it's probably condensation, but some of it, with that condensation, is where you kind of breathe. But this glass cleaner, get all around that edge. And I'm not using a proper glass cloth as well. This is just the Autoglym cloth, which is pretty decent for glass. It's not like a fluffy kind of cloth. I'll tell you what, I declare this a good glass cleaner. So could you use non-automotive glass cleaners to clean your automotive glass? Well, absolutely. No one's ever disputed that. And some people, you've got all these like DIY kind of products, like peanut butter for trim dressing and kind of toothpaste for headlight restoration and boiled linseed oil as a trim restorer. There's all these, kind of DIY hacks that you can do, and they're all bloody useless compared to detailing products. But as a hack, this isn't a hack. This is a good glass cleaner, and you could, you're not gonna, if you use this, you're not gonna get less results, I think, if you used any other glass cleaner. It's really going to be down to your approach. Having a clean cloth is really important, and when you're doing the interior, just spending the time to get it all, especially down there, even using those tools that we've talked about, the little sort of detailing tools, the arm extension that gets right into that gap, having more than one cloth, because the surface of the cloth starts picking up all that slime and stuff, and so having a pile of cloths when you're doing it, maybe having the right cloths, but definitely clean cloths is important. But I tell you what, this is a good product, because it vapes fast, but it's wet. It's not like a boozy one, it's a wet surfactant-y one, but it still flashes. It still flashes. It flashes well, but it's strong. And if you've got really dirty glass indoors and you use it, this stuff cuts through it. So I always try and research and give you the price and talk about price. I can't find it online. Even on Flash's website, I can't find it. But I would imagine what would you think that would be? Put in the comments if you can find out how much that is, or you can find where it's being sold. I don't even know what supermarket she got it from, if it was Sainsbury's, or it's usually Sainsbury's we go to. Sometimes she goes to Lidl and Aldi's. Sometimes she goes to Marks and Spencer's. I don't know where that come from, but I would imagine that would be like £3 or something. Because in supermarkets, you can't sell them for 10 quid. No one will buy them. If it's 6 or 7 quid, then it's expensive. So how do I think it compares to something like Traceless? Well, I'd lay money that Traceless is more powerful. I'd lay money because that stuff is a completely different chemical to everything. That costs $12.95 for a litre. So by automotive standards, this is reasonably affordable as far as glass cleaners go, because most of them are like a tenner for 500ml, aren't they? Sometimes even a bit more. So that's quite affordable, but those will be cheaper. I should really have a price thing on my head. So if I can find it, I'll put it in the comments. So if you want to know the price, someone will tell us, won't they? So go to the comments and I'll pin the price. But yeah, I mean, the answer is you absolutely could. So if you're trying to save money and you're not fully bought into it having to be a detailing product, you could absolutely use a domestic glass cleaner to clean automotive glass, no doubt about it. And in my opinion, that is really good. And it's different. I'm in my head. Remember when we did the best glass cleaner and I had, you know, we went proper balls out. We had like 25 of them. And a lot of them were all very similar, very alcohol-y, boozy, all good. That is chemically different, wetter, but very powerful and very good. Very good. I'm impressed with that. Now I can see on the outside where I was talking about, I haven't cleaned the glass on this car properly. I could just see some little greasy marks, you know, I can see a little grease mark there. So if you wanted to use it a bit more conservatively, you could just mist one over there. Let's use this different towel. It's got a bit of cobwebs on it from the doing there. You could just use a little bit less. The outside glass tends to be a lot easier to clean because you've washed the car and it's always, the surface is always getting like detergents on it, but God knows what's on there. Actually, it's on the inside. Maybe I missed that bit. Maybe I missed a bit. There we go. Yeah, I can see little marks actually. Oh, that's so as I'm wiping it, I'm putting a little bit more product on. But yeah, generally pretty good. That flashes really well because it's freezing today. It does a good job. There is some greasy stuff on there. There is some greasy stuff in that corner. Or is it just still waiting to flash? Let's get a dry side of the cloth. A lot of times with these glass cleans, you can be chasing like the residue. This is damp now. There's something on there that's a bit stubborn to remove. But no, it's good. So yeah, actually, there's still something there that I'm not quite happy with. But I think it's more because this cloth is like wet and I'll just get a bit of fresh elephant roll. That's better. Yeah, it's probably the cloth. That cloth's been used. Cloths are important. That cloth's not particularly like kept clean. And if you use a cloth that's got stuff in it, you might have buffed a wax with it or something, it can put stuff down. But yeah, so flash sparkling glass. I don't know why they call it glasses. Flash sparkling glasses. It should be sparkling glass, shouldn't it? That gets a thumbs up from me. I could happily use that. Would I use it? I'm too into all of this detailing stuff to probably use domestic products in my garage. I just don't like the idea of having a bottle of Flash up here on my shelf, if I'm brutally honest. So I will stick with Traceless. But that is, if you put that Flash into a different bottle and called it like, you know, detailing 2000 Supreme brand or whatever, if there's one called that, apologies, and it had a nice label on it, I wouldn't know the difference, and that would do a absolutely fantastic job and I'd be none the wiser. So yes, you can save a little bit of cash if you want to go down that route. Let me know your thoughts. I bet there's some of you out there that actually that don't buy into that, and you'll use these types of products with absolutely no problems at all with your results. How's things going, guys? Well, if you're watching this, I've just been doing that video. My hands are all covered in silicone as well, which really doesn't help. With that leak from my 996 aircon system. So it's that day. And I hope that that is now fixed. We shall see. Other than that, what's going on? I'm very excited because I'm off to Spa in about a week and a half to do a track day at Spa, which I've never done. I'm so excited about that. That's just going to be great. The car should be ready. I've got to go and pick up my exhaust from Brad at Ford Creations, who's deleting the flexis for me, which is just bugging me. And I'm going to refit that exhaust back onto mine. Because it's a lighter exhaust, that Dance system with the Sports Cats, and Dan's one's too loud. But it's nice. If I wasn't tracking the car and worried about noise, I'd just keep Dan's exhaust system on there. It's actually, the back boxes are probably better quality, but they're stock Cats. It's a heavier system. It's loud though, and it's quite noticeably loud. I don't mind that personally. I don't like pops and bang exhaust, and there's a big trend, isn't there? And you drive around town centres now, within 5 minutes you'll hear some car sounding like a bag of spanners that's popping on lift. You just get bang, 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 bang. There's loads of guys that are all into that. I don't like that. I think personally, I just don't like it. I know when you get into cars for the first time, and you modify your car and you put a nice exhaust system on it and it sounds like a race car and it's popping and banging. I know some people like that and it gives them a buzz, but no, I don't think I like an exhaust which roars. It might be raspy, but has a nice kind of roar to it. But I don't want all that popping and bang stuff, and I don't want droning. This drones a bit, but I've done I just put a back box on the existing system of this car. And it does drone a little bit. It might be blowing, which isn't helping. It's not the perfect exhaust system. If I put a full system on it, it'd be brilliant. But that Dance system is nice. So I think when that goes back on the car, it's good. But yeah, Dan's one's just perhaps a little bit too loud, by about sort of 5 decibels over where it needs to really be. So yeah, really excited. And then after that, I'm getting close to 996. All of the jobs will basically be done, and I'll just be able to enjoy the car and stop spending a fortune on it every month, which has been non-stop since I bought it, spending money. That's the thing with older cars, that you're driving hard and doing stuff on. It's rewarding doing all this work, but it costs constant money. Yeah, so that's where we are, guys. So thank you for watching, and there'll be more stuff coming through soon. I'll see you soon.